front window things came down. There's two little suction cups on either side of that thing. They popped off last night. I slept in a residential area. It turned out to be really quiet. I mean, sorry guys, it's too early. I slept in an industrial area. It turned out to be pretty quiet. There's a truck. That heater is not quiet. So it's been a little bit since we've made a parking video, and I slept somewhere different last night. Being that I van life in the same areas around my winter season, I get stuck in my same handful of spots all the time, and I just cycle through them. Today, I thought we would drive around and see if we can find some new areas to park in around here. It's great for me and also great for you guys to see how simple it is to find places to park when you freshly get into a new area. And I highly encourage you guys to try your parking first thing in the morning. Like, wake up at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning and drive around while most people are still sleeping and see what those areas are like during your night of sleep, instead of driving there at 6, 7 at night and then you get a little unsure because there's still people in the office buildings or still people coming home from work and stuff. You get a little bit of a not quite good feeling of the area because you're sleeping when they're sleeping. So you want to get there while they're sleeping. Does this make any sense? But yeah, this is where we slept last night. And as you can tell, that heater, she ain't quiet. I'll definitely sleep in this area again. It was really quiet. Around 4 o'clock in the morning, a lot of vehicles started to roll in. There's another RV right there. This vehicle is new. Like, it shuts off when you stop. You take your foot off the brake and it starts again. I don't have that kind of stuff in my regular van. All right, the street looks okay here too. Sign says you're allowed to park between the signs. Looks okay to me. A diesel place right here. You could totally sleep here, 100%. All these businesses are closed all night long anyway. Yeah, 100%. Another great spot. But like I said, it's pretty easy to pull in here at 7 o'clock and then there'll still be some people in offices upstairs like over there, and you think that they're staring at you, which they're probably not. They may just be looking outside. They may have seen your van, but honestly, most people around here, they're going home from work. The last thing they could care about is your camper van parked out here. It's different if you're squatting, if you're staying there like months on end, sure, you're gonna draw some negative attention to you. This van is a full-blown camper van, but from a quick glance at a distance, it does look like a delivery truck, but it does scream on the side of it, Karma Camper Vans, especially from the back. KarmaCamperVans.com right across the top of the back. But for the most part, people aren't gonna care. There's someone actually standing right there behind me, staring at me right now, right over there. They're not causing a huff. They're not telling me that I can't be here. They're just standing over there wondering what this weirdo is standing outside holding a stick in his hand, talking to a damn camera. Parking is something that people will overthink, and then they'll have a hard time traveling or a hard time transitioning into van life. Parking is something that after a while you just kind of pull over. Keep out of sight of residential homes and stuff, but for the most part, in an area like here, you can go unseen for one night and you're gone the next day, and nobody around here will ever have to see you again. So that's the 100% key to having a safe place to sleep, is use it for a night and don't come back there for at least a week. I've never been down this way before. Oh, this is perfect. Right at the edge of this building here, there's a concrete wall right there. Out of sight all night long, unless there's a residential area up there and then people will see a park here, but this is perfect. Oh, that's a good spot. This is super fun to do, especially if you plan on spending some time around an area for, a couple of weeks or so. Take a day and drive around like this and see if you can find little gems. I've been on this island for how long? This is epic. I'm gonna sleep here often. I like this one. Let's see what's up the corner from here. A residential area. Oh yeah, right on the edge of a residential area. So that means a spot back there will get a fair amount of traffic, but you're not bothering anybody there. You're only there for a night or so. Yeah, this is all residential. So these are areas that I personally avoid. I know lots of van lifers that sleep in residential areas all the time. I don't mind apartment buildings or townhomes and stuff. That's cool. But when you're like just around homes, no. You park on that shoulder? That's a bike lane. Don't park in the bike lane. That's a no-no. I know a fair amount of vehicle dwellers that'll find shrub lines in a residential area and park right here. These are areas I don't feel comfortable in because I'm in visible sight of the home, and around here, if you get, I don't know, say her lady's name is Sally. Sally will call Johnny and say, Johnny, is that your van? Johnny will call Martha over there, and then you've got just a community problem. Have I slept in residential areas? Heck yes, I have. Sometimes when I'm pulling into town somewhere and I'm late, 9 o'clock at night, everybody's sleeping, and I see just a great big hedge line there where that house can't see me and hedges there where that house can't see me. Heck yes, I've spent a night in residential areas and it's been totally fine. But it's definitely not an area that I seek, especially if I plan on spending some time in the van watching movies other than sleeping, because then you got noise and stuff being made. I ran into a subscriber at Costco the other day, and he was telling me that he's taken off on a great big cross Canada road trip, and always the first thing I hear from everybody when they talk to me about their travels is like they're concerned about places to park. And I always tell everybody, just pull over. And there is some truth to that. Plus, that's me being a little bit dramatic about it. Don't just pull over, be a tiny bit strategic. But as you can tell, within like a couple of blocks from where I slept last night, there's 1, 2, 3 places to sleep within 3 blocks. I'm also a little bit trained. I've been in my van now for over 6 years. So hitting up these spots that I don't think anymore. You kind of learn after a while what to do and what not to do. That's why the 4 a.m., 3 a.m. drive around is so important. And I've made parking videos way back when I first started my channel. And I got away with parking the whole time. I've never had that dreaded knock. You can't be here. No, I've had subscribers knock on my van, but that actual, I lied. I had one during COVID, but that was a COVID restriction thing that no campers were allowed in the area. That's a little different. But never because I was breaking a parking bylaw, because someone felt uneasy that my van was there, that just, but yeah, after a while, you just kind of start to learn and kind of start to not care, because you realize that you can get away with a ton of areas no matter the vehicle you're in. Larger RVs, different story. You have your own whole world of problems in a larger RV because you break parking bylaws everywhere because you're too wide, too tall for residential areas. I've been sleeping in a rental camper van that says Karma Camper Vans right on the back, zero problems. My home has van life written all over it. It's jacked up with gear on the top. It says Van City Van Life all over the thing. Zero problems. A lot of the problems people face, I think, is when they park in those areas, people see them doing stuff. Like they see them cooking in their vehicle. They're like, hold on, that guy's living in that. Because I guarantee you 95 or 90% of the people that drive by your camper van don't think, hey, is there somebody sleeping in that? Because those people aren't like you and they aren't like me. They don't look and be like, oh, that's a camper van. A lot of people just don't know. They see my van as just, hey, that's a cool jacked up van. That's pretty sweet. Bet you that guy takes that on a few fun adventures. They don't think, hey, that guy's probably sleeping in there right now. Because not everybody's into van life or even understands it, you know? People just see that little bit of stuff they see on the news and they don't realize that, hey, there's a big community out here that live in their vans full time. So here's another good spot. There's nothing wrong with sleeping right here. That is a senior's home. So y'all know those guys are sleeping by 7 p.m. and they're up early though. But, you know, you can get away with this spot too. I wouldn't sleep right in front of it. But yeah, over here, perfect. My apartment building's over there. I'm standing out here, not a person over there can see me. Another apartment building being built there. Don't overthink it, my friends. You can sleep here all night. What's that down there? See, these spots are great where there's a lot of vehicles on the road. That's another good one. Just non-stop great places to sleep. New building construction over there. Looks like apartment buildings back there. I think no matter what you drive, you're gonna blend in. Whether it's a big, huge camper van like that one, or a van like mine, or a minivan, no matter where you park, you're gonna blend in. There's gonna be specific types of people that will recognize that van, but never see that car, never see that one, never see the truck. So as an example, if someone drove into that apartment and the wife was like, hey babe, did you see any vehicles on the road? He's gonna be like, no, I seen a white truck, because he's a truck guy. Or if someone's a van person, they're gonna see the vans. That makes sense? Or if there's a little Corvette over there, someone's gonna be like, yeah, I seen a Corvette, but that's all that was out there. He missed the 30 other cars that were wrapped around the road because that vehicle had pay value. So as long as you're not drawing attention to you, and people think that as soon as you put roof vents on your van, you're drawing attention, not true. As soon as you write van life or big camper van rental right on the side, you're drawing attention to you, not true. A lot of people drive by, even this van here, and they see a sign on the side, they automatically think, oh, is that an Amazon truck? Or, oh, look, it's just like a company truck. They're not slowing down to take the time to read what it says, to pause and see if that van causes them a problem. They're like, boom, driving by, going home. They just don't care. The only time you may have a problem in these areas, if there's a business right there and they are in business and you are in their way, yes, you'll have a problem. Other than that, I wouldn't worry about the vehicles you drive. I think the whole be stealthy so people don't know it is a camper van is a thing of a way gone past when it comes to van life. You know, my van is stamped in it. But what you don't want is you don't want to be sitting outside with your cooktop out here and your lawn chairs living here. That's where you're going to get a problem. Right, bud? There's a reason why you don't see van life channels who've been around for 6-7 years like mine make parking videos very much, is because, well, to us, this just seems mundane. Because normally I would have whipped around that corner. I'm like, cool, that's a cool spot. Throw my dividers up, boom, in bed. And the reason why I like to cover up all the windows or make sure that curtain is fully drawn and a full blackout on the back curtain is so I can like live in here. I can pull up at night, turn on all my lights inside, and nobody outside has to see my lights on the inside. To me, that's what stealth is. Stealth isn't the vehicle you drive at all. I think stealth is black the windows fully out so nobody sees you running around in your underwear cooking dinner or watching movies or anything like that. So I think if you drive by and you have a curtain that's got a big light on, now you're going to draw a bit of attention. Someone's like, whoa, that was weird. Why is there a light on inside that van? So that's what I consider stealth to be, not the vehicle. I see this all the time in my comments. Chrome is like, oh, your van's not stealth. Of course it's not. I would rather be in a van that is not stealth than a van that is stealth, for the reason that I sleep better knowing that somebody could come by and look, oh crap, someone might be in there. Let's not break his window. You know, I sleep better knowing that people know I could be sleeping in there, because it cuts down, I think anyway, I might be wrong, cuts down the whole let's break into that van situation, because I think most people want to grab your change and not do a home invasion. I would lose, there'd be trouble if someone broke in my van for sure. Just think of stealth that way. Just black out your windows and make that the stealthy part. Don't let them see you in here. Your vans, I don't think in now times of van life, make a difference. Van life is so visible everywhere nowadays. The only time you may have a problem is if you're in an area that has a lot of van life. So areas like Squamish, British Columbia, that has a van life problem. Places like that, you may have a bit of a problem sleeping in residential areas and stuff, because some cities, not a lot out here, fight back against it. But there is some areas that are a little bit harder to sleep in. This is awesome for me, and I think every long-term van lifer should take a day and do this. Drive around and find some other cool spots to sleep in. I know the last time we made a little bit of a parking video on this island, some of my regular spots I sleep in now were from that video. And because I'm in a Ford van, maybe the Ford dealership might be a good place to park right out front. I mean, technically, you could be dropping your van off at Ford in the morning. Nobody would know. Sure, why not? What the heck's wrong with this spot? You know, you could. I don't like the angle of this one. But hey, why not? I don't see these areas being a problem at all. I mean, if you got a Ford van, try the Ford dealership. If you got a Chevy van, try the Chevy dealership. If you got a Mercedes, go park at Mercedes. I don't think in a lot of the places that you're going to camp out at, especially when you're not around anybody, like after business hours, these streets are fairly quiet. You're not going to attract any negative attention to you. Sure, people may drive by and see you, like, oh, there's a camper van, someone's sleeping in there. Then they're gone. They're not here to bother you or anything like that. But when I was talking to that guy at Costco that's leaving in a small little baby SUV on a cross-Canada road trip, he had brought up some of the parking apps and stuff and his worry about having places to park. And I'm like, honestly, parking is one of the easiest things you'll do in van life. Or car life or whatever. There is a thing you need to get through that's inside of you. It's not the parking problem. It's the turmoil that goes on inside of you about the parking. It's you getting inside of here too much, and then when you're in here, you start going, oh, was that a noise? Did people see me? You know what I mean? You get that. That's a little phase that everybody has to go through. You'll have to go through it. I went through it. It's just a phase. Once you start rolling through all this stuff and you realize that, hey, this isn't that bad. But he did bring up some of those parking apps like iOverlander and stuff. And I always say this to everybody, including you guys, use those parking apps. Just stop posting in the parking apps, because believe it or not, those apps are destroying us full-time van lifers having places to sleep. So just say you find this gem of a spot. You're like, I want to share this. You pop it into iOverlander. You may have been the only camper that's ever stayed there. Now, 100 campers over the next year have stayed there. Next time you come back, there's a big fat sign that says no camping, no overnight parking, because somebody pinned it in the app, and then it was overused for an extended amount of time. And sometimes someone will pin a nice spot and you'll come back there next time, there'll be 10 camper vans all the way up here. And no parking signs, and all those 10 camper vans are breaking the no parking sign rules. So yeah, if you're going to use those apps, I mean, I highly suggest don't add anything more to it because there's enough stuff in it already. And I've used those apps 100%. I'm not big on when I go to a town to flip and find a spot. Unless I did this and I can't find anywhere that seems comfortable, I will just pop up the iOverlander app and then it'll direct me to Walmart or something like that. But I honestly like sleeping street side. It's been something that I've enjoyed, I think, because my van life started in the city of Vancouver, hence the Van City in the name of my YouTube channel. So I got used to the whole street side parking and the noise around me. And I was a city boy before this. You'd never know that because now I'm just a backcountry dirt boy. But I enjoyed the noise of the city when I first got into the van. This street has no vehicles on it at all. Sometimes these areas with no vehicles, I have a hard time in. 2-hour parking Monday to Saturday on that side of the sign. So on this side of the sign, you're good to go. But yeah, I have a hard time in an area where I'm the only vehicle on the street. Like there is 0 vehicles on this road either side. These areas, I don't know why, it's something built inside of me. You could sleep here, no problem at all. But I always like it when there's another vehicle or 2 on the road. I don't know why. It's just something that I feel more comfortable with. But I have slept on completely empty streets like this before, especially in an area like here. One thing you got to remember when it comes to sleeping in front of these areas is don't sleep in an auto mall because that's private property, like a whole area, which is just you guys know what an auto mall is. I don't know if you guys have them around the world. We have them here where it's just one big private piece of property full of every car dealership you could imagine. One thing about these areas is there is usually security that drives through all these parking lots. That's the one that may give you a bit of a problem around here. This being a city street, I think you'd be okay. At the end of the day though, you just gotta continually try new spots, try new things. So it's easy to get into like a mindset of like, okay, this is my type of area. But when you try different areas every once in a while, you start to learn that, hey, you know what? I have a bazillion options for places to park. Another spot you can try is the local hospitals because they see so much traffic going in and out and around those hospitals all night long that I think if you were to pop into a town, find the local hospital, you might find a great place to sleep. And also it's a good spot to kind of sleep around if you're not doing well. So I was in the hospital, it's about a month and some ago now. And when I got out of the hospital that night, I slept across the street from the hospital. Why? Because I was feeling a little uneasy still after they released me. So here's the local hospital. And no parking on here on this side at all, but let's go drive around the back side of the building. But yeah, I slept across the street from the hospital because it seemed like the safest place to be. That's 2-hour parking. So that's another thing you may come into around the hospital. That's 2-hour parking all the time on that side. Is pay parking. I'm pretty sure this is probably all going to be pay parking or 2-hour parking only. But that's what these videos are for, is just education, for me to learn some new spots that I can cap out in and just to kind of show you guys and learn with you guys. Because right now, if this is all 2-hour parking, then I just learned a lesson that maybe parking around a hospital is not a good idea. 2-hour parking 8 to 5, which means we're good to go here all night long. I don't think people are going to cause a problem here either. I mean, heck, you could be sleeping out here because you have a loved one in the hospital. So parking says 2-hour parking between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m., which means you're wide open all night long, except for residents. Residents, well, I guess can park here anytime. This is an area where you'll want to make sure you try to stay quiet inside your vehicle, especially if there's apartment buildings or anything like that there. I love sleeping in front of big apartment buildings because usually they have guests and stuff coming in and out all night long. But this is definitely an area that you want to make sure you stay quiet in there, because if they hear rummaging around or kind of weird noises on the inside, people are more prone to call the police on you at that point, like something's in there. That's why it's fun to have your vehicle look like a camper van. Then people are less prone to go, oh, what's happening in there? And they look at them like, oh, there's people camping in there. So yeah, we're still on the outskirts of the hospital. I think it'd probably be better to park down into the hole, like by the emergency room, like right in the thick of it. Same thing. So right here, this would be an awesome spot to camp. On the hospital side of the road, not on the residential side of the road. All down here is 2-hour parking. During the day, wide open all night. Hey, I knew I had a feeling about this hospital zone. This is perfect right here. And I don't think people would bat an eye because people are coming in and out of the emergency room all night long with better things on their mind than you and your camper van. There's a house there. That looks like that's a prosthetics building. Is that what that says? Yeah, prosthetics. So if you're wondering what I look for in a place to sleep at night, I don't want to be in a visual area of somebody's personal private space. Meaning like their residential home where they need to feel safe. The last thing they need is a van parked across the street from their road, especially if it's a senior lady or someone like that who's had problems in the past that looks outside and just doesn't feel right. She will end up phoning the police on you. The police will come by. You're not going to get into any legal troubles, but they will do this and they will say, hey, excuse me, the lady in this house doesn't like you parked in front of there. Can you please move down the road? And I know lots of police officers that watch my channel, and they've told me many stories before, and a lot of them are just, they find it a nuisance, and they, as a police officer, don't like to come knock on your home and ask you to leave because they have better things to do, and the last thing they want to do is to bother you. And that's true. I have multiple police officers that watch my channel that have said the same thing, that if they ever get called out to that, they don't like to wake people up and ask them to move. And a lot of times they're just people like me that are just crashing for one night only. We're not living there in front of that house full time. But yeah, that's my thing. I just always pull up someone, I'm like, am I going to bother them? You know, if that person sees my van here, are they going to be worried by it? That's where I think a place like right here in front of the hospital is awesome because, you know, they see cars here all night long. And I'm pretty sure plenty of people have crashed in their cars out here while their loved ones are in the emergency room for 10, 12 hours. They come out here and crash in their car. So it's not an uncommon thing to see, I am sure. But yeah, I just look for, am I bothering anybody? You know, and I've been in my van now for 6 and some years. I haven't had a problem whatsoever. And I don't know why. Maybe it's because I move every day. I don't stick around the same spot all the time where that house has to see me every day parked here. I move around, and maybe that's the absolute key, is to just come there after everybody's sleeping and leave before everybody's gone. Like, I mean, like I'll pull up to an area sometimes at like 6 o'clock, black out everything, watch some movies, but I'm gone in the morning. Like, I'm a 4 a.m. kind of guy, hence this video. 4 a.m., I'm up and let's go all the time. So I think I'm out of there before they get a chance to see me. So even if they seen me at night, they don't see me in the morning when they go to work, or vice versa. Maybe they see me in the morning and then they don't see me at night. So I don't look like I'm squatting in the neighborhood. But anyway, guys, that's all I got for you guys for a video today. I just thought, I don't know, I woke up this morning thinking, hey man, I'm gonna go snoop around and see what I can find for some new areas to sleep in. And well, I figure might as well run the camera too at the same time. Hopefully you enjoy a little video like this from time to time on the channel. I know us larger channels don't make informational videos as much as we should, because the channels that have been out there for a long time doing van life are the ones that have all the knowledge. We've been doing this for so long every single day that it's just second nature to us. So that's why we don't make informational videos about it, and I'm gonna say it, we should, 100% should. Because I have some unique advice to give everybody about van life, or little unique ways that I've learned to navigate my way through living this way for so long. Van life is easy, but there is some elements of van life that are a little bit hard to navigate your way through. You know, if you can read a parking sign, and if you're got some basic common knowledge inside of you, you can understand that parking sign and know, is this an okay spot to stay? So where I pulled over, I wouldn't stay here. Their lights are on over there and curtains are wide open. Doesn't look like a nice couple little houses here. I wouldn't stay here. Even though the sign here says, yeah, you're cool. You're cool. You can stay here. Common sense looks around going, this is probably not a good spot. So you just use that common sense. And a lot of people you find that have nonstop parking problems, I think, lack a little bit of that common sense part of it. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this raw little video and learned a little bit something about parking. Don't overthink it. Keep trying new spots and get comfortable. That's the key. Being comfortable with anywhere you park is a hard little bridge to cross when you first move into your van, but it is so important to continually try new areas like we did today. Pick all these spots and then take the next week and stay in all those spots, every one of them, and see what they're like. Because once you've slept in one spot once, you're like, that was easy. Just keep trying new things all the time. Don't keep getting stuck to the same areas. Try some residential, try some areas like hospitals or industrial areas, try some big box stores, and find the areas that you find the most comfortable, and then just roll with that. I guarantee you, after sleeping in your van for 30 days, you're gonna find van life to be pretty easy on the parking side. That'll become a part of van life that you just don't think about anymore. You just go and you just do. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. See y'all in the next.